Hey guys, how's it going? It's December 12th, 2023, and I thought I'd just put this video out here for a bit of a change of pace and to give you guys an idea of what's happening with the channel and all the rest. First of all, as you can see, I'm in the middle of Railroader, which is actually one of the more, I would say, relaxing, doesn't really take too much effort kind of activities, and that is passenger runs. So I have run all my daily runs for the day. I do have a little bit of switching that I can still do to try to maximize things, although that's just basically at the logging camp. Probably one last move at the end of the evening before I call it an evening. So I just got back into it anyways, and I was thinking, oh, what do I do tonight? Because this isn't probably as exciting as running a turn or doing a switching. I figured, well, I'll run a mainline job, and I'll talk about the channel, and I'll talk about what I think of Railroader, and try to give a review, maybe a comparison for those that are curious about it. So, Railroader's been in development for a couple of years now, and it's been something that I've been very much looking forward to. Even back when I had, you know, RTS, or sorry, RTS, jeez, Run 8, and under RTS and doing different things with it, Railroader was one that was certainly on my mind. Now we're coming up here to Ella here. There's a little red flare on the track. So right away I'll say the AI in this is not as sophisticated to say as a Run 8, but it also has a lot more sophistication or simplicity to it that makes it run pretty good. Just thought I'd throw that out there right away since I had this on my mind. So what I'm doing right now, for example, is I'm doing my nightly passenger run. And you can see the number of people there's people that are disembarking on Ella, but then there's going to be people that will actually pay money. And this is one of an interesting simulators. As you can see, there's the money right there, $33 for 33 fares. So that's doesn't sound like much, but in the realm of Railroader and in the realm of the air, it's pretty good considering the economy where it's at, how much things cost. For example, I can go into my finances and show you there's the $33 entry on the ledger. So I'm now up to $3,375. This wades and flows depending upon what I'm doing. I purchased something for signals. So you might be looking at all this and thinking to yourself, well, is it a railroad simulator, or is it, like, what exactly is it? Is it a tycoon? Is it a train simulator? And I would say it's a railroad simulator that has a lot of qualities of everything, just like anything else. So, for example, Run 8, what I consider to be the best train simulator on the planet, is now is this guy going ahead and loading everybody? This will tell me if there's anybody else in there. It says 52 passengers waiting. But where are they going? That's the key. Wrong one. Wrong button. Oh, they're all going back to Whittier. So, I've got everybody, and now I can just take out the flare here, and away I go. But, oh, hang on a second. Whoops! Not inside. Wait for me. Sit back self down. There we go. So yeah, this is a strategy simulator. That's the other thing too. It's, the AI doesn't can't get crossing, but it does give proper signals when stopping and starting. Right now, I'm not in control of this. I'm playing a conductor, or I can play train master, dispatcher, all kinds of different things. So, what's going to be happening with the channel is I'm going to continue to push the realm and push content areas. So, why this over, say, a Run 8, let's say, for example, which I ran for years? Why suddenly all of a sudden this? Run 8, like I say, it's been great. I got my money well worth it. Never say never, I might be back into it. They just had an update recently. I wish the guys nothing but the best. When I first went into this, I wasn't too sure if, you know, what I was getting myself into. Was I getting myself into just the same where I'd be doing too much switching, and I'd feel like I was too busy? Well, as you can see right now, I'm not that busy at all, other than putting a few flares on the track and sitting back and letting the railroad run. And of course, there's times where I'm conductor and I tell the trains to go, just like yesterday's video where I, you know, set up strategies as far as like any conductor would do in real life. So it does this really good. But what blew me away about this was the actual owning a railroad and taking over a short line. There's a story involved, which is based on real life, where you're taking over a railroad that is coming back to fruition from the a flood that took place. And all these locations were part of the original railroad before damage to the flood that basically made it inoperable. So there's these little sections here. And it does it in an ingenious way, I found. I was very surprised about it because they kept this kind of a bit of a secret. I heard about different levels that you didn't have, you can run whatever you want. There's two ways in which it does it. Number one, expansion, and number two, the level of contracts that you choose. So in this essence, you get to choose how to expand. Now that's similar to Run 8 because in a way you can choose not to run the entire railroad. And in some ways you could say to yourselves, well, that's just the same way. Well, Sean, what about before where, say, you were in Run 8 and you always feared that if you didn't give them the whole railroad, they wouldn't run? Well, in this essence, you can give them the whole railroad. You just have to build it, and you have to build towards it. And who joins you is up to them, basically, just like any other decision. But you don't have to go at a high enough level to worry about. There we go. Forgot the honk again. We'll just ignore that. But this is in early access too, which is unbelievable. But you don't have to go at a high enough level. You can choose what upgrades you want to put into the railroad, and essentially, like, I mean, for example, I'll give you an example for this one. A lot of people, I've seen people who have, including my son, who have bought out this section. There's a lot of switching opportunities. Well, and there's other streamers who have done that as well. Most of them have at least gone on to purchase the Bryson section, which I have. The Bryson section doesn't provide, despite the fact that there's a large yard and facilities there, it doesn't really have a lot of industry, to my surprise. But it actually acts as a central location for future expansion. What this section does is it requires a lot of switching, which gives wear and tear on the engines. Not so much wear and tear, but per se, but actually takes a lot of fuel and requires a lot of upkeep to keep the engines going. You're a long way. For example, right away you purchase this, well, you're going to have to purchase the service facility as well as Dillsboro to make sure that you can service and get coal for these guys. I mean, there is water in the area, but you need to get all those things in place. Otherwise, you could be in trouble, and my son ran into that. So, despite the advantages of having more cars to make money with, and definitely more passenger traffic, you get a lot more passenger traffic. In fact, you're going to be running a lot of passenger. Well, you don't not. Sorry, let me rephrase that. You don't have to run these passenger trains. Actually, all you have to do is, in order to meet the demands, all you have to do is, from what I understand, that doesn't hurt your reputation. All you have to do is at least, on a daily basis, visit a passenger station in your network. That's it. So that gives you a lot of flexibility as far as, well, Sean, why are you running your third, or sorry, this would be my 9th train of the day. I ran 8 in the morning, passenger-wise, 2 each way in the morning rush, and now I'm in the afternoon rush where I find it peaks up, and then all of a sudden now I'm doing it in the afternoon. Why are you doing this now? I'll show you why. We're coming up to Bryson, which is the big city here. I'll close this up for a second, and I'll show you. You can see there's 135 passengers waiting. I only have room for 120. In fact, I could go with a third car, and I was thinking of doing it, but I figure I'll get away with it for now. Now, if I get out of here, see, people are detraining, which is a really cool aspect. So who's here? We can find out. What are these people? Well, we got 108 people that want to go to Whittier and 27 going to Ella. Obviously, I only have 20 people that I can take, so we're not going to be able to serve everybody. It doesn't hurt you in this, as long as you visit a station. What this does is it's a good income. It's a good source of generating income that you can use to make other purchases. Like, there you go, for 69 fares, we got $129. Now, I'm at the end, so I'm going to do a turn here. Let me first go into, shut the train down. Actually, no. Let's go ahead and I'll go ahead and want to take off. So let's see, the AI is very smart in that way. It's very easy to manipulate the decisions. Now we'll maximize it at 15 miles an hour. Again, they don't have the honking right now. That's probably something that they can add. It's pretty simple. can see these targets too, but he's going to go this way. So yeah, this is basically an extra money maker through the day. As you can see here, the sawmill. Like I sold a caboose back, so that made some money, but the sawmill alone was making me $2,475 at midnight. That's telling me it's at the end of track coming up. But then I make more money. But then the morning passenger run, you can see all that right here, was done, and easily $1,000. This will be another $1,000. I haven't even got a loan yet. He's coming up to the bumper. He'll be smart enough not to kill it or anything. Right up to it. We go back here. And then I click the reverse button. We'll grab onto the back. And you can multitask too, at least in the early stages. If you got too many trains, then it becomes a little too much. Some people think this is kind of like transport fever in that essence. Well, the difference here is you don't get to plot out your tracks. The tracks are already laid out. You just have to operate everything. You got this is the biggest turntable, or biggest roundhouse, I should say, in the network. So you get access to that as soon as you get onto pricing, so that's good. This apparently has very good multiplayer. I really don't need multiplayer just yet. I'm actually doing well, but at some point I'm going to want to have some human hands in here too, because then the multi-tasking may be a little bit too much. That's the difference between transport fever right there, I think. I can jump off. Wait till I get past the switch. And then see, I can act like the conductor. Just tell him how far he's got to go. He'll come to slow down or stop in a second. 1 toot to tell me that he is stopped. And then we go ahead and all you have to do is to grab onto things, you just basically run into them. Very simple. I'll come up to another switch. One of the things too I'm looking forward to is the CTC. Number one, I like dispatching, but there is a dispatcher office inside the upper floor of that station. So I'm looking forward to that. I start bringing cars, and part of these expansion projects is you actually bring cars into the area to service. So it makes it really interesting. You have various facilities. Here's like a water column if you're running low on water. There's coal across the way if you need it. I just filled up on coal and water before I started out this trip, so he notices the switch is against, so he's letting me know that he sees it. And then I'll go ahead and get out. As you can see, yesterday's video I was switching all these, and if I hit, or sorry, yesterday's video, which is basically on today's simulation days, so these are not ready, obviously. They're going to take a while, but once they light up a brighter color up on the board here, what that means is it's available for pickup. There we go. And you never know you know, whether or not you're going to get bored of something or how long something's going to last. But even with all the various expansion goals and the multiplayer, I see this being something, and there's even random car numbers that will come up for demand on a lot of these waybills or whatever. So I see this being something that's going to be fun for a long time. And right now, you can still do it in single player, by the way, too. Just because you have more tasks doesn't mean... If you take a look at my day, I'll just show you basically by looking at this. You can tell what my day has kind of been. I have skipped a lot of time. In fact, I skipped just before I was doing this video. I brought cars in at 1:01 in the afternoon, and to get to the night rush, I had some cars I could have done some passenger service, but it wouldn't have made me that much money. So just like the real life, there are people that are willing. They say waiting at the station, but really they're just basically willing to buy tickets. So I looked at that kind of stretch, and I thought to myself, I'm not going to make a run until the afternoon. So I'm going to do, right now I'm doing 2 morning runs and 2 afternoon runs. As your network grows bigger, though, however, just like my son's in the east, he finds he has service all day. You do not have to go with that. You can get more cars and provide limited service, or manage it however you want. You don't get penalized as long as you, if you have passengers in the network, you are expected to visit a station at least once. So in that essence, you're not forced to go to the passenger station, but it will hit your credibility. Now, to get everything set up going the other way, you just go passenger, and we want to go to Whittier and Ella, and they will start boarding. And then what I do from there is I will go to Ella/TP for teleport space Ella. That takes me out here, and they don't recognize, you might be familiar with Run 8 where they'd recognize the station. So that's something I think that they're going to be working on. But for now, one way to get around that is to put these flares. So we put one here, and then we go ahead and we go back up to Whittier. Go right here, and I can always adjust it accordingly. The clocks, by the way, work for system time. You do not have to run it 1:1. You can run it there's various ratios you can run at if you find. I prefer this because it gives me all the time in the world, and it also means that you can run a lot more in single player if necessary, which is a bonus. And to get back to my train, I can teleport to the engine, or I can teleport to, I can go through the map, by the way, too. Or however I want to do it. I find I like going like this, so when I just go to Bryson, and they're boarding while this is all happening. So it's all happening in the background. And they've got 60 in the back. Those didn't load. Oh, I didn't copy it. So what you got to do is, another thing you have to do is you have to copy, and I didn't do that there. So let me copy that to the clipboard. Copy to the clipboard, copy to the other. You have to do that every trip that you set up. And a trip is from one way to the other. Like once your cars are set up this way, once it goes to Ella and it's detrained everybody, this check mark will come off. Now you don't want to put people to Bryson going the one way on a linear. Like so for example, if I'm heading to Whittier, this train's heading eastbound. You want to, it automatically is smart enough to take that check mark off so that you don't have to worry about that. And now we got all our flags set up. If you had CTC, you could have signals as well. You can do one at a time, or you can manually control the train yourself. I choose to let them control the train, and I control everything around it. So how much you're involved in running the trains is entirely up to you. There's a lot of flexibility there. So we got our 60 in here. I think we're fine here. We go back to the station. I will show you. So there's no active freight waybills in the area, so everything's been taken care of. There's still 24 passengers for Ella. Unfortunately, they are not going to make it on this train because they're just going to have to hopefully wait for the next one. And it will not penalize me currently for not serving them, as long as I serve the station. And we'll just give a big ol' aboard. And operations, that's not the right one. I just have to click onto my engine down there and just put it maximum speed. It'll know. It basically does all the horns to start things off and everything else, and away it goes. So freight operations, you'll probably be seeing the majority of that. This one's kind of, I would say if anything is boring, it's this part. I'm not much of a passenger guy myself, so running a train from one end to the other is kind of boring, but you can challenge yourself for timing and whatever, and adhering to speed limits and being safe and not derailing the train, because you can derail the train, you can cause damage that you have to fix, and inevitably it costs you time and reputation. Doesn't cost you money though. I just thought about that, because normally I was going to say, yeah, it probably costs you money, but it actually doesn't. I just help them with the horn. So when I look upon this and compare to other sims, like I've said very recently, or for a long time, I've said Run 8 is the best train simulator. It still remains the best train simulator, as far as I'm concerned, that you can get. And that hasn't changed, because it is still the best at simulating an actual physical train and the physics and everything else. What Run 8 does, not as great as others, but it does do good operations. In fact, it was doing some pretty good operations until you start getting into the titles like this that come on the market. Once this came on, that changed it for me, because operations was really one of the things that I found interesting. I found logistics interesting. RTS itself was always founded on the logistics. It's been like that for years. I've always been interested in the logistics of railroads. In that essence, Railroader to me is the best railroad simulator on the planet, because it handles logistics really well. Now, Freight Yard Manager was one that I always put in high regard for that. The big difference here is it's just not shippers and consignees and a network. Yes, you have that too in here, but you have so much more because you're dealing with contracts, you're dealing with reputation that gives you the opportunities at those contracts. You can hurt your reputation by making costly mistakes like derailing a train or not serving a community. There's all kinds of things that go into the macroeconomic side of things as well, which I kind of like. It doesn't get too hard, but it certainly adds to the overall business sense of things too. Now, you don't have to get into all that so much. You can just go in. If you don't like, by the way, if you don't like running a company and you just want to run trains, you can go into, there's two modes. There's a mode where you are, there's a mode where you're actually in, what is it called? I forget the name. Company mode. This is company mode. But you also have another mode, which is basically a free-for-all. I can't think of the word. It's always a word that comes to my mind, and for some reason my old brain doesn't want to think of it. But it's just basically an open book. You can do whatever you want. You can buy whatever trains you want. You can run it however you see fit. And that is also available. All of them are capable of multiplayer. I've seen a lot of videos that have cropped up where people have had a lot of trains running multiplayer and not worried about the company mode. And for many people, they're going to look at that and see that more favorable. They don't want to go through all the company stuff. And I totally get it. What's great about this is this Railroader gives you the options. And remember, this is only early access. This is only the beginning. We weren't supposed to get this year originally, or at least it seemed like we may not, because the developer was very adamant about not going early access. He wanted to go full version. He decided that he felt he wanted a full polished version. Well, eventually he swayed it, and I'm glad he did, because I'm just so happy to be part of early access and to be, even if it's not polished, but believe me, the bugs in this, there are bugs that pop up. Most of them I don't even notice half the time. It is a solid early access title, and for $30 US, I mean, it's pretty awesome. This bridge here that we're crossing at, this was part of the first project that connected us to Bryson. And in one of my previous videos, I showed cars would be lined up over here, offloading supplies so that that bridge can open up. This is only my 6th day in the simulation, although we've put in, I don't know how many hours now, we've put in about 60 hours into the simulation itself. Both myself and my son Emmett. So, you know, this is, we're going to get, what I'll do is I will keep this video going until I get over, because I don't want to take you through the passenger ones and everything like that. But, we'll turn the train around just outside of Whittier. We're coming up to Ella right now. And I'll show you the difference, why it's a good idea to run them. You don't have to run them. Nobody's forcing to run them, but so those aren't ready. tells you it's stopped for the fuse. So if you're doing something else, it'll tell you in there. You can see it's detraining. Only $3. You only got 3 fares because everybody's going to Whittier. And just like that, it's loaded. And all these guys that wanted to get to Whittier, well, maybe I should have had an extra passenger car. I'll buy one for tomorrow to help these guys out, and we'll run 3 passenger cars to try to increase the demand. I was going to take a loan out for it, but I decided not to. And then we just go ahead and pick up the flare. And the engineer will notice that, and will continue his instructions. It's getting a little dark in here. We'll put a light on. And you got a torch as well. Then I can go in this view here, and you can home in on yourself. So there's my character or avatar or whatever with his torch in his hand. Very cool with that. I'll turn that off. Yeah, let me sit down here. The doors open and close, the windows open and close. I have that closed. I didn't realize that. I did that, but lean in and out of the it's really nice. Once again, another thing too is the format that I'm using right now. I'm not doing live streams. I found my connection to be rather unstable. The plan for the channel is in 2024 I'm hoping to have multiplayer available, and I will put a Discord back up again. For the time being though, I'm just going to go ahead, build the elements, build the railroad, because it's not really too much to do just yet for 2 people. As you can see, I'm just running single. There are times where I will do multitask and run 2 trains at once, which you can do through AI. But I'm really not at a situation where the network is big enough or requires enough. And even if it required more coverage, I'm running at a scale of 1-to-1. If you guys remember with the Run 8 days, I ran out of time. I couldn't run everything within 24 hours. There was so much to do. And I also Run 8 is, you got no choice but to run at 1-to-1. You can run at higher ratios. I could run at higher ratios. The reason why I don't run at higher ratios is because it affects the passenger. So I don't maximize the potential of getting as many passengers by just keeping numbers where they're at. So what happens is, as time multiplies, everything around it, whether it's loading, unloading, passenger demands, they all increase or decrease. The train speed does not. That stays constant at 1-to-1. So for me, I find it's more beneficial to keep it at 1-to-1. Some people do. I think the default is at 2-to-1, but I prefer to keep it at 1-to-1, and I'm not too worried about the day-night cycle. It cycles enough the more you play it. And when you have nothing to do and you're waiting for something, then you can just fast forward. You can fast forward an hour. There's a little trick I found out tonight. There's a command that allows you to fast forward a fraction of an hour. And I didn't realize you could do that, but you definitely can. Originally I was going to run a set right at 7, I think it was at 5 p.m. I was going to run it, but I didn't quite get to it. get up to Whittier though. I'll turn around the train and I'll show you the progression of the sawmill. Turn on the bell here. So this is why you do the passenger. That money that I was making before is chump change in comparison. This is where you start really seeing where the money comes in. Alright. So everybody gets off the train here. At minimum, you're going to make $120 because we had a completely full train. However, your fares increase the further it goes away. So if I have a lot of people on this train that were traveling from Bryson, well, I get an increased fare. So this should, once you see this, get down here and they detrain. Speaking of which, how many people are ready for the next run? Well, we already got 91, so we're definitely running 2. I usually run 2 in the morning and 2 at night, so I will definitely run another cycle, but I won't put you through that. What I will do though is when we Y this train, I will show you what's going on over at the mill, at the sawmill. I might be ready for me to switch it out for the overnight. If it is, great. If it isn't, it's not a big deal. And then I can show you the multiplayer side of things as well. Not the multiplayer, I'm sorry. There you go. Look at that. So almost double. $237. And when you look at that, these things add up. And if you have a bigger network, it's only going to get bigger. So yes, the sawmill pays, but when you can continuously make that kind of money, 237 I think is the most I've made yet. I had 229 at Bryson this morning at 8:16 on one of my runs, but right there, I mean, that's instead of taking a loan out, which I wouldn't have paid any interest because I would have paid it off in time. As long as you pay it within a few days, you won't have to pay interest. If you pay interest, you're paying a lot of interest because it's like 10%. But anyways, let me go over to the Y, turn ourselves around, and that's what it's all about? No. Sorry. I couldn't resist. Nope. Don't fall off the train. And we'll turn ourselves back around, take a quick look over at the whoops, I gotta slow myself down here. Actually, I can go ahead and go straight through and back up down here and back up here. In fact, while it's doing that, we can go right to the map. So this is where the mill is. See, he's working his way over there. I can go ahead and transport over there while we're waiting for that. And it's not quite ready. I think I still see, wow, literally one log. So this next trip, what'll happen is, while it's running itself, I will be busy switching these out, because these guys here are not in the catchment phase. These were. This is why these unloaded. Like, so for example, if I go Whittier Sawmill, notice how that catchment area is right there. So what I have to do is swap these cars in for the other ones, and I'll probably stick them down the Y, but which is kind of cool, because then you could do this. Oh, I gotta stop this guy. He's not starting enough. There, we'll stop him. See, he already came all the way back here. Then we'll go back up to that. It's a very relaxing simulator. You're not forced. If you want to drive the trains, you can. There's nothing. There's so many options right out of the gate. It's just. Oh, I got a new daily report available. That's so at 6 p.m. every day, I get a daily report, and it outlines the last 24 hours. So what I can do here is here's the daily report right here. Oh, I don't know where they get 110%, but they do. So my reputation effects allow me to go up to tier 3. I think I have to get through it before I can go up to tier 4 or 5. I'm not 100% sure. But then it gives you all the stats. Outstanding way bills are the logs that are there right now, and it tells you how much money you've made in your balance of 3,744. I think that means it's gone up 2647 in the day, so this is an important report. Stop this. And then I'll continue to read this. So you can be the conductor and just reading the reports or the list or whatever. We got switch list too. You can read, or whatever he has to read. Go about his business. Let the crew do its thing. So we'll do that. We'll hop aboard while they take care of us. Take care of the train, and we just give them. There we go. And then you can move that around. So yeah, I was able to, and these are like little extra goals that you can put yourself and challenge you and see if you can set yourself some records. Now it doesn't tell you what the record is, but then you can see 14 cars at Whittier. Those are the log cars. And the reason why they're outstanding is because they're available. They're available to be moved. Yes, I can run them to the logging camp. I don't need to do that tonight. What I do need, though, is I need to do at least one more switch that will get me those cars into the catchment area that I need. And then see, he tells you RTS 3 stop for switch line against us. If you wonder why it says RTS, that's the initials for my railroad. Used to be Railroad Transportation Simulator, but to keep the acronym, I went with Rail Transportation Service as the name of our railroad, or our service, or whatever you want to call it. try to multitask as I go through this. So we have a balance of 3,744, which is up 2,647 from yesterday. And we've made $18.96 in passenger revenue. So right there, I'd still be up, but you know, I wouldn't be up as much, which allows me to do, you know, more other things. You can see the lights come on at the station. Turn the bell off before I drive everybody nuts. So once again, I'm going to set the passengers for, how many do I have here? I got 91, so I can find out. I can click on it and find out more details. So I got 52 going to Bryson, 39 going to Ella, and we're gonna go ahead and click Bryson and Ella. You can see you can have more than one window, which is nice. So once again, we're going to go to Ella. Doesn't take much to set up everything. Whoops, he's over here. I just want to make sure nothing else is ready. Nope. Not that we're going to run it tonight. You don't have a lot of things you don't have to run, like moving empties and stuff like that. You do get a little bit of money for it, but okay. So he's coming from that way. So now I have to. I'll put it right here, and then go to Bryson. You can see the lights have come on here, so there's a nice lighting here. Let me put it up a bit here. Now, I think that works out good. And then I can go back, teleport to Whittier. Let's see if everybody is on. I'll close that up for now. Still haven't finished reading my report, but that's okay. What's going on? Did I... Oh, I didn't copy it again. I always forget to do that. It's right there. Dum-dum. Okay. Well, we gotta wait for him to fully load before we can take off. So yeah, wages, and so there's my expenses. So $25. If you have AI engineers, it costs you money, but that's piddly. The railroad made a lot more money than the people who worked it. $30 minus $30 wages in the shop. That's just to have two guys sit around in case anything happens. 3,750 equipment. So there was a balance here. So I had 3,750 of equipment. What was that exactly? I think that was I think this was more cars, and then 7,500 taken away for milestones. So a lot of the money that I didn't make was because I reinvesting in milestones. This one's going to be a costly one. This is for overnight tonight. Now I could have made my report look better by waiting till after 6 o'clock to do it. Minus 7,500 has already been spent to order up CTC cars for tomorrow. So I plan on installing CTC and a dispatch board here. It'll probably be in by the end of the day, but the cars for it will be ready. 31 out of 60? You mean... Oh, yeah. Everybody's on. Okay. We didn't have a full train go back, but we will have coming back, I believe. This will be the last run of the night. head forward, put it to the maximum, and he will draw the rest. Bryson coaling tower. Currently has, this is the inventory of the various coaling towers. So the coal loader has 2 tons. Something on East Whittier coal loader only has 2 tons of coal. I think the car has more though. I have to check that car again. I'm sure the car actually has more. So no cars are awaiting repair. They both have 1 worker. I can go through the various locations and see the various who's at what kind of tier contracts I have, when they expire. So when they expire is important because I want to renew them within 24 hours so that they'll continue. And the more you expand your network, the more these things become big. And milestones, as we were talking about, we currently have the Whittier to Bryson in effect. So when I click on this, the cars are ordered and they're waiting for delivery. They will show up at 6 o'clock tomorrow morning at my interchange yard at East Whittier. And then the other ones I'm looking at right now. What's my finances at? 3,744. I got a decision to make. Do I increase my passenger revenue by grabbing onto another passenger car? I'll probably do it tomorrow morning because then I'll have another 2,000. In fact, I think I'll be fine because I'm going to be grabbing another 2,000 anyways. So I believe I'm going to do a second milestone. I think I'm ready for it. No, I don't want diesel. We're not ready for diesel. I love diesel and I want it, but the diesel engines are expensive. Bryson Bridge line to Fontana. Now this is going to cost me, I get a discount for everything due to my reputation. So this is going to cost me with discount $1,500 or 25% off. This is going to extend things further. I don't even have CTC into it, but that's okay. I don't have to have CTC everywhere. So the Bryson Bridge, that'll give you a line to Fontana, but then what happens there is, I'm not too sure which one involves in that, but there'll be signals that are part of that'll show up, and they're not. Let me see. Bryson Bridge line to Fontana not complete. Or the junction not complete. Then Fontana Lake Bridge not complete. I think that's okay. I don't think I need to purchase signals for that, because that'll be, I think the last signal will be at Bryson. See, now if I went east, you'd have Dillsboro Yard, Dillsboro Engine Service. There's all kinds of things. Build the red marble grade. Requirements, Bryson Bridge, the line to Fontana, not complete, so that's another thing that I will want to put in there. But I'm going to hold off one more day. Just be conservative on that. My equipment, because I may need some equipment. I got a funny feeling I might need that. So see, while we've been talking all that, my engineer's been go ahead and do his things, and if I want to expand the time, here's where your multipliers come in and all that other stuff, and then I can just close the window and deal with everything else. Make money. So I stopped at a fuse. Not too many people going to Bryson. Here they come. And Whittier is back the other way, so yeah, this will be the last train of the night. Ah, they didn't make it. Yeah, this is where having that extra car, although not entirely profitable, it would definitely help service-wise. I shouldn't say not profitable. It's a mix between how much weight it costs, how much coal, but I think that's minimal, to be quite honest. Let me go ahead and get rid of that, and I will. So I got $39 for the drop off the tickets, which not much. Bryson will be the one that makes more money. By the time I return or even in between, I mean I can go like this while he's going here, and I could go like this. We'll go to number 2 and see if he's ready. I don't know if he is yet or not. Whoops. Let's see. He might be. If he is, we will move him. It looks like he is. Okay. Perfect. So what I'm going to do is, this is for the Connolly Creek branch. Now it will go further up. I'm not going to go all the way up Connolly Creek branch. But what I'm going to do, while that guy's running, I'm going to go ahead and take this guy. Here, it doesn't matter. So right now he's hooked up to the passenger run, and see the speed. You can see the speed changing because the AI is running that. Now I'm going to go ahead and select that, and I'm going to give this AI instructions. So we'll go yard reverse 5 cars back. So you're just like a conductor. And here he goes. 3 toots of the horn, he'll come on back, and you can update the instructions so he doesn't slam into him too hard. There he goes. And then you tie up your tie everything up. Now he's saying by the purple there, that means I have 2 handbrakes on. Some quality of life features, but as to be expected. So I've got 17 cars on me. We'll go 20 at first. Uh-oh. Oh, the switch is against me. I was wondering what was going on. We'll fix that. It's getting a little dark, so we'll get our lantern going. we're going to update another 20. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up to kick this. And then I will kick the other. Okay, so to do that, we want to bottle the air. I'm going to try reversing 20. Haven't tried doing it while getting him to do it. Usually I do it manual. I think I hit that. Yeah, I must have. That worked out okay. Wonder if I can do that again. Can lightning hit twice? So I'd really like to ease it on into the bumper, if I can. How far away am I? I'm about, oh, fusing the gauge. Okay, so I got about 10, if that. I didn't expect that to happen. Well, did I even flick the switch? Well, at least I flicked the switch. Oh, he's continuing. Isn't that cute? It's okay, buddy. You can stop. Okay, we got to go back out to LA here. Well, he's rolling pretty good. He's not going to damage anything when he hits the bumper, so that's good. So what we'll do then, that actually worked out better than I thought it was going to. So I'll go to teleport Ella. And I received passenger tickets. $120 for 68. No, that's a back at Bryson. Where the heck was I? Did I go all the way? Oh, I didn't go all the way to Bryson, did I? I went all the way to Bryson, didn't I? You dummy. I wonder why it was why? Okay, I forgot to put a flag here, so he went right by it. Well, that kind of screws things up a bit. So that was kind of like an express. Oh, maybe I was at Ella. Maybe I'm losing my mind. It's possible. Okay. Let me leave this for a few minutes, and I will go back to RTS 2. TPS RTS 2. I want to finish this off real quick, and then we'll turn our train around and head home for the night. Did it reach the end? Oh, it's still coming. It's still rolling. That's nice. Let's go back 10. I'll close that for a minute. Now, because this went gray, he is in the catchment area. I'm going to what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to apply a brake here, and I'm going to get myself started by moving this down the Y. But I do want to get my passenger equipment moving, so this is all going to Connolly Creek, so I'm going to push it down the Y far enough past to where I have to back the train up, the passenger train I'm talking about. So let's go ahead and grab onto that. grab onto that. People here. There's still 135 people. Are you kidding me? That's insane. Where am I? I gotta make sure I select the right one. Water's okay. Smart too. They put lamps right by the infrastructure. That makes sense. So by me putting those cars there, what's happening is that that'll meet its demand for the day by being able to unload that before midnight. They already have enough in storage anyways, so they're quite happy with us at the moment. The graphics are pretty nice. These are at high, so this isn't at ultra. I have a mid-range system, runs pretty good, but the graphics are very, very pleasing. Like the sunset, it's already sunset. See how much I noticed that? I didn't even notice that the sun had set. I was too busy with my job. But I've used this turntable yesterday to turn the equipment around. It's very... what's the word? The same word I used in Run 8 at the time, too. Intrinsic? No, it's not the word I'm thinking. There's a word. I just can't think of what it is right now. You just feel like you're doing something. That's what I'm trying to say. See, without doing the live streams anymore, I don't have the I don't have everybody to try to finish my thoughts. You just feel part of it. You feel like you're part of the railroad. That's really part of the railroad, part of the process. Look at that. Flick the switch, he sees it. My judgment of 15, but because it's hard to get on 15, but. Especially coming up to a station. I feel like a conductor doing that. It's just so cool. Oops, did I go too far? Okay, so now I want to do that this time. Go into passenger. We want to go to Ella, Whittier, copy to clipboard, or copy to coupled. I always say clipboard. I don't mean to say that. And then you can watch. That's just for that car, but. And once again, I rinse and repeat. So I go transport to Ella. And this part should be, I think that's something that they're definitely going to be working on, is to have the recognition so we don't have to put these, the fusies out. But for now. There we go. Alright, let's see. Woo! It's running a little faster than I expected. Okay. Looks like we are full. Who did we leave behind today? I know we left some people. 15 passengers waiting for Ella. Poor Ella. It's like a quarter of a... It's like a quarter of a thing, but... Yeah, I got enough water for this trip. Okay. So then I reach down here to my number. Or I could click on here too. And that would do the same thing. Once I've given the order, he takes off. And I want to go back to RTS 2. So I'm now in control of, well, I'm not in control. I transport it to it, but you don't select it. So you gotta select it, right? And then we'll go to the orders. You can see already this is working as it should. That's the other thing too. I know there's some that say that this reminds them of trains. Because you have the commodities, you get to see them. Not all the commodities are shown. The boxcars, they show up empty. Hopefully that'll be something they change down the road. That'd be really neat to see. But you know, there's enough here. The coal, we see the coal different levels. I'm waiting to see what the coal mine is like, because certain industries unload quicker than others. Like Emmett's saying, he thinks that these should unload a lot quicker for here. The loading, it takes about an hour to load an entire train for the most part. So, I don't know. But then there's other industries that can take up to 24 hours. There's some industries that take about a week for the car to get unloaded because they use it as storage. Okay, so we want to get out of here. We're going to go at a road speed of 15 miles an hour backwards. the switch now, which I believe is normal, if I recall. I could be wrong, though. Oh, it's reversed. I'll keep going. Got a funny feeling the other one is set against me. So the passenger needs the Y to back up. I usually back up as I'm coming back this way in the morning so that I can, if there's any repairs or whatever that has to be done. Otherwise I back it into the pocket track, which is not part of the interchange. Yeah, the switch is lined against. Okay, so I don't know if that was me or who that was. I am going to go ahead and, how far away am I? Well, I'm going to go ahead and reverse this. I want to give myself plenty of room for the passenger to come around without having to worry about it. So I want to put them up the branch. Or at least these cars. Space is unfortunately a premium. These are already blocked, so I want to have them in this order. Yard. Just check the map on this. He's still on his way. Coming up to Ella. So he's heading towards me, but he has to stop at Ella, and then he has to stop at the next place. Yeah, I want to stop it right on this, right away up here. It's a nice place to stop. He's got plenty of room for the passenger train. Excellent. I think I only need one brake. For the empties, that should suffice. Okay. So this guy is done for the evening. He just has to get his way back to the yard. Whoops, forward. So coming into Ella. fuse. He'll get his fare in a second. There's his... Okay. So now what I can do is, I got a different order there to go 20 more feet, so 20 more cars I should say. We'll go ahead for Ella. What do we make out at the station here? Did we get everybody? 16 passengers. Only 4 didn't make it, so I guess they're gonna have to walk. But wait for tomorrow morning. They're too late. Okay, so he's good. He's good to go to Whittier. And we want to go ahead. RTS 2. Let's see, where are we here? Yeah, we're getting there. Well, since he's going, we will so that'll continue unloading overnight. If I want to check how they're doing, I just go to locations, Whittier Sawmill. He's got 41 logs in storage, so he's got plenty. It only consumes up to 15 cars of logs per day, which is what we're supplying them. So they're fine. Could have threw that engine into here, but I'm not going to fuel up till tomorrow morning. I'd like to do it in the morning instead. And we'll shut this off. Or did we? Oh, we already shut it off. Okay. Oh, I got the caboose in the way. Well, where am I going to put you? How in good a shape are you? Are you in okay shape? You're 100%? Okay. Sounds like a plan. I'll go ahead and stick you in this track. Let's go ahead and get you 5 cars up. And I didn't change the switch. Nice shot. Don't need to tie in the hose. All I want to do now is get you in. Oh, so he's at Whittier. Like how the light shines through. Does it? Oh yeah, it insists on me tying up, or it won't go. All right, fine. Safety first. Minute it'll unload everybody at Whittier, and I'll make my last bunch of money. You gonna stop? All right. There we go, 195. Oh, I forget how to turn the light off, but whatever. What's he at here? 1.9 tons. Okay, good enough. Let's go ahead and bring our passenger equipment along. Actually, Whittier. And just a last snapshot of the finances. And you can see, since I started doing passenger runs tonight, so we go 33.42, about $800. So I don't think it was as much as the morning run. I could be wrong. That was 89.27 to. No, it was about that. It was about $700, $800. So you get an extra $700, $800 just by running 4 trains, 2 one way, 2 in the other in the morning, and then for the day it's like $1,600 or whatever it is. Well, let me see what the what they say. They might say that. I don't know. They just tell you the total number of. Oh no, that's the money. There it is, right there. So you divide that into 2. That's pretty much how much you make for passenger, and then your freight, of course, is your is your money maker. But yeah, sweet deal. All right, let's. Oops. I need to take that out first. Double check and make sure everything is okay. Enough to get me back, that's for sure. What's left in there? 91 passengers. Are you kidding? Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to get another passenger tomorrow, I think. I'll wait till overnight. Pick up another one for morning. So this is the branch again where the cars I brought around. Love the headlight at night too. Starts shining. What do you mean end of track? End of track. Oh. I better check. I just realized I could be, yeah, RTS 3. I better double check if I did okay with RTS. Transport to RPS 2. This gets dangerous. This happened to my my son the other day, actually. He didn't do anything, so that's good. Okay. He ran into something. I don't know how he managed. I think he was in manual control, that's why. So now, I'm back to here again. Always gotta select the engine that you're on. I was wondering why nothing was working. It said end of track. I was like, what do you mean end of track? Back this down the pocket. Either the pocket or if it requires any repairs. I don't think it does, but you never know. Take a look at this. Condition 90%. Let me just take a look and make sure everything's okay. That's another bonus. 100%. Yeah, well, it's fine. And I love being able to walk through the passenger equipment like that, or whatever other equipment that you're on. I wish the switches have lanterns though. I know they had them back then, but it wasn't necessarily everywhere. Alright, well, I'm okay there. That switch. We go down to 10. Coming up. It said it's normal, so that's good. Could be me, but I think the moon phases is getting larger. What is that down there? I gotta see what that is. I saw something that caught my eye, and I was just like, that was kind of weird. Stop. Alright. Why are you way down here? Or did I leave you down here? I guess I left you down here. The question is there a brake on? No, I can't select those. Okay. Well, I would assume everything is okay. So it's 10:29 Eastern. This is how the interchange works. So I've done everything that I have to do today. All the passenger runs that I want to run are complete. Now, what we do is we go ahead and go into settings and we sleep. This will take us to 6 a.m. the next morning. and you'll see the interchange change before your eyes. You'll hear the cash register go because I made some more. Your reputation's still 110. I don't think it goes any higher. So this is going to change in a minute, these cars here. They just take a few minutes to spawn in. There we go. So we've received 16 cars. And they're usually blocked pretty good too, I believe. So we've got 6 today. We've had 7 one day, and then we've got 6 the rest. Bryson Freight House. Oh, Bryson Freight House. That's the signal equipment. So, yeah, signal parts. So these 4 right here are the signal parts for Bryson Freight House. Well, at least 4 of them are. Bryson Freight House, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm not too sure. I thought there was only 5 cars. Ah, okay. So there's more to go there. So there's miscellaneous as well. Once I deliver those, I'll be able to get the signals tomorrow. Other industries, the lumber and coal has 1. Standard Oil has another, and Appalachia Hardwoods has 2 more cars. I had the same yesterday, but that's fine. I'm okay with the same thing. There is enough randomization. It's not much, but it's enough to keep things interesting. And the bigger your network, the more potential for randomization is. So, anyways, it's 10:32. I may not even bother running anymore tonight, but I'm going to end the recording for now. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Please give it a like, subscribe to my channel, hit the notifications, all that other wonderful stuff. It helps the channel. It helps if you like more of these videos. Also comment in the comments. Let me know what you think, and I will upload this video now a little bit early. I was going to do it in the morning, but since I got a little bit of time, I might as well do it right now. And that's it for now, guys. Might be back tomorrow, and if not, pretty soon. We'll talk to you later. Have a good one. Talk to you later.